In tribute to the end of summer, today I will be baking a strawberry cake. This is a delicate white cake frosted with Ermine Buttercream, which is an old-fashioned French-inspired frosting. This buttercream is easy and delicious, made with flour, sugar, milk, and butter. It may sound a little strange, but trust me, it's absolutely delicious. It is silky and smooth, but not too sweet. That also sounds like a few people I know. You can also frost this cake with a stabilized whipped cream. The Ermine and the stabilized whipped cream work perfect for this style of cake. This is everything that you will need for the cake. 426 grams of buttermilk, 553 grams of cake flour. Unfortunately, you cannot use all-purpose flour for this cake. You have to use cake flour. 510 grams of sugar, 213 grams of egg whites, 169 grams of vegetable oil, 255 grams of unsalted softened butter, 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract, 10 grams of salt, 15 grams of baking powder, and 3 grams of baking soda. Be sure all your ingredients are at room temperature. This is very important. Normally I will put the cup measures in the description, but this particular cake has such a delicate chemistry that it has to be measured in grams. Sorry. In a stand mixer, combine your cake flour, your sugar, your baking soda, baking powder, and salt, and mixed well. Most Americans are familiar with the creaming method when making a scratch cake. This cake recipe uses an alternative mixing method called the reverse creaming method. You will first mix all the dry ingredients and then add the butter and mix until the dry ingredients and butter mixture resembles fine crumbs. Mix 3/4 cup of the buttermilk with the egg whites and set aside. Then add the rest of the buttermilk to the oil and the vanilla. Give both mixtures a good thorough stir. Add the buttermilk and oil into the flour mixture. Beat the mixture at medium speed for a full 2 minutes. The mixture will be light and fluffy after 2 minutes of mixing. You're now ready to add the egg white and buttermilk mixture. Do this in 3 parts, beating 10 seconds after each addition. You should be left with a light, silky batter. Pour the batter into 3 8-inch pans that have been greased and floured. I normally put a parchment circle also in the bottom of each pan. Bake your 3 layers for 28 to 35 minutes at 335 degrees. The length of time all depends on the pans that you are using and the calibration of your oven. You're now going to let the cake cool in the pans on a wire rack for a few minutes, then turn the cakes out onto the wire racks and let them cool completely. While the cakes are cooling, you can now make the Ermine Buttercream. This is everything that you will need to make the buttercream. 681 grams of unsalted softened butter. 128 grams of all-purpose flour. You're going to use all-purpose flour for the frosting. 595 grams of granulated sugar. 1 teaspoon of salt. 3 tablespoons of white vanilla. 681 grams of whole milk. Combine your flour and sugar and toast over medium-high heat for a couple minutes just to cook the flour a little bit. Now add in your milk and whisk to combine. Bring to a simmer and reduce to medium heat. Cook until the mixture thickens. Make sure you're stirring constantly to prevent burning. Hopefully you're smarter than me and you use a bigger pot than I was using here, because I made kind of a mess. Once your mixture is all thick and looks like pudding, you're then going to transfer that to a heat-proof bowl and cover with plastic wrap. Make sure the plastic touches the surface of the mixture. I then put it in the fridge and let cool completely. You're now ready to place your softened butter in the bowl of your stand mixer with a whisk attached. Whisk until your butter is light and fluffy. Add your completely cooled flour mixture into your butter a little at a time. Beat until your mixture is light and fluffy. Now add in your salt and vanilla and mix well. You're all done. Be sure and taste your frosting and adjust the salt and vanilla as needed. Now I know what you're all thinking. You're thinking, oh my God, how much butter is in this frosting? And it is a lot of butter, but this is also a cake that's going to probably feed 10 to 12 people. And also, it's French. It has to have a lot of butter in it. This is everything that you will need decoration-wise for this cake. I buy 2 quarts of strawberries, and then I also buy an apricot jam, which I mix with a little water and put on the strawberries on the outside to give it a glaze. So now you have perfectly baked layers and a beautiful creamy frosting. Everything else is up to you, but I'll tell you what I do. I always level off the top of the cake. I like to cut off so the cake is nice and level and some of the caramelization is gone. I then put a thin layer of the Ermine Buttercream on there and then put a layer of sliced strawberries down. Now, maybe this is just because I'm hungry, but that looks good already. Yummy. I then like to put another layer of buttercream on top of the sliced strawberries. This way it really seals the berries in place and they don't move around from the next layer of cake. So just repeat the same thing you did for the first layer for the second layer. So guys, this is completely up to you, but I always recommend a crumb coat. Basically, a crumb coat is just a really thin layer of frosting. This just traps any crumbs that might be coming off the cake into that first underlayer. So you're going to frost the cake and then you're going to put that in the refrigerator for 30 minutes or until the frosting is hard to the touch. So after 30 minutes, when the cake is now all nice and cold and the frosting is hard set, I take it back out of the refrigerator and start the final frosting and decorating. If you do not plan on serving this cake within 3 hours of finishing it, I would store it in the refrigerator. This frosting tastes the best at room temperature, so if you do store it in the fridge, be sure you take it out at least an hour before you plan on serving it. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button and subscribe to my channel. Please remember also to hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when a new video has been released. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any suggestions for future video, please leave them in comments below. Because I refuse to believe that fall is almost here, next week I will be doing another summer recipe, key lime cooler cookies. Delicious and refreshing.